Rip Them Off is Losang Labs' newest game on the Nintendo Switch. This puzzle tower defense game brings a brand new type of flair not just to games of this genre, but to the Switch's lineup with its unique visual look and easy to understand mechanics that will have you profiting hand over fist. As a member of a rather massive company's sell team, your job is to set up shops for customers to spend money on and not just recoup the original investment, but make your bosses quite a lot of money. Because you're working for bigwigs, their goals is profits, and you're the only person standing in their way. Either you deliver on their demands, or you'll quickly find yourself getting a new job. It's not much of a story since these games typically are more about the gameplay. In that regard, tower defense games are often known as having a slew of monsters trying to destroy something that you're usually protecting. So you're barricading and setting up defenses to fend them off as long as possible. In this game, you're actually welcoming the wave of incoming customers as you're simply tasked to provide them with places to shop with the most efficient way possible. It's a really interesting twist on the idea that I don't think I've seen implemented in other games of this type, and it works rather well. Every shop that you set up is something of an abstract shape that simply serves to differentiate themselves from one to another, so don't expect to see a Taco Bell or even a Nike logo anywhere. Each of the shops has a timer and a spending cost after you build it, so it's a nice balancing trick to properly find which shops to put next to each other and net the maximum results. The HUD is rather clean and streamlined. You have a typical pause and fast forward feature to speed things up or to stop them to give yourself a second or two to find out where to make some actual changes. Everything else appears on the tooltip as you would hover through the options in the shops to get more details. It's almost as if the game wants you to interact with it to get more information, but is not willing to present it outright. Ultimately, the goal is to get shoppers in and out as fast as possible and keep the revolving doors of capitalism moving, at the cost of perhaps one's soul, I suppose. But the game doesn't have any sort of sinister meaning behind it, just hungry shoppers looking for oddly shaped goods. The visual look is something that you quickly take note of, giving these buildings and cities themselves in which you're actually stationed a modern futuristic abstract look, while still having a basic layout and look of a city you should typically recognize. It does feel like some of the city maps, which translate into puzzles, as tower defense games by nature are kind of puzzle games, have a precise setup that you should be aiming for. While the game does encourage experimentation, once you do find a combination that works, it usually works all of the time. Rip Them Off is certainly an interesting new perspective on a rather formulaic genre, but by nature, because of these puzzle roots, once you pull back the veil, you begin to see too much of the basic mechanics that can be easily exploitable. Nintendo Sphere gives Rip Them Off on Switch a 6.5 out of 10. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!